It's time for pretty good news from the Wisconsin Maritime Museum. Welcome aboard. I'm Shane Lee of the Wisconsin Maritime Museum in Manitowoc. The museum is directly related to water, but there is a group of people whose water connection is even stronger. Enter the Stockbridge-Munsee Band of Mohican Indians. In Shawano County, you will find the Stockbridge-Munsee Band of Mohican Indian Reservation. The beginning of the Stockbridge-Munsee people traces back to the Hudson River Valley in New York. They call the Hudson River Mohican-neok, and they named themselves the Muh-he-con-neok people after the river. The name translates to people of the waters that are never still.
We do, as Native people, believe that water is the source of life, from the beginning of your life to the end of your life. When you're first conceived, you're born in water, you're living in water, you're growing in water.
The Muh-he-con-neok, like the waters of the Mohican-neok, were never still. Large reasons are the Indian removal efforts of European settlers and later the United States government. In the 1700s, they moved to Stockbridge, Massachusetts, and later New Stockbridge, New York, locations that provide the first part of their current name, Stockbridge-Munsee. In 1818, some of the band moved to White River, Indiana to join their relatives from Delaware, the Munsees, the second part of their current name. Unfortunately, the Munsees had already been coerced into selling the land, so both groups moved north to Kaukauna, Wisconsin. In 1822, the rest of the Stockbridge-Munsee joined them by land or by steamship through the Great Lakes. In 1836, the Mohican-neok moved to Stockbridge. In 1856, they briefly inhabited Red Springs before finally finding their current home in the town of Bartlemy on the Red River.
To have this beautiful river run through our reservation, it's wonderful. You just listen to the water because it's rushing over the rocks, and it's like you're in a whole other world. It's speaking to you. It's talking to you. It is a living and breathing source, and so there's so much you can just gain from that.
Even as times and locations have changed, the Mohican-neok still keep their strong bond with water alive with ceremonies, water walks, and water protection activism. They support the Menominee in their fight against the Back 40 mine in Michigan's Upper Peninsula near the banks of the Menominee River.
Yes, we were fighting for that cultural significance of that area, but water is the source of life for everyone. So while Native nations might be out on the forefront fighting for it, we're fighting for it for all of us.
Standing idly by is simply not in the nature of the people of the waters that are never still. To learn more about the Stockbridge-Munsee, you can visit the website Mohican.com or visit the Arvid E. Miller Library Museum Facebook page. In this week's featured artifact, our education volunteer Wendy Lutzke talks about her favorite piece of the museum in the Wisconsin-built Boats Gallery.
Hi, I'm Wendy Lutzke, education volunteer here at the Wisconsin Maritime Museum, and my favorite artifact is George Daimler's toolbox. The reason why I love this toolbox is because it represents 26 years of this man's career at the Burger Boat Company. And he was so proud of the work he did there that every boat he helped build, he wrote the name of onto his toolbox. It represents our wonderful local maritime history here in Manitowoc, and that's something we can all be proud of.
Thanks, Wendy. Let's move on to someone with a wit sharper than the tools in that toolbox. I'm talking about our special events manager, Caitlin Seguin, who has our joke of the day. Take it away, Kate.
What did the dentist name his boat? The Tooth Fairy.
Thanks, Kate. I hope that tooth fairy doesn't try to sneak under anyone's pillow. Just a reminder, no matter how bad things may seem, at least you're watching this video, so that means your technological device is still working, and that's pretty good news. Pretty Good News is funded in part by a grant from the Wisconsin Humanities Council with funds from the National Endowment for the Humanities.